최근 LAFC 팟캐스트에서는 경기 중계도 했었던 그분이 진행하면서 특별한 분을 초대를 해서 화제가 되었습니다. 오른쪽에 있는 분이 누구냐면 LAFC 선수들의 식단을 관리하는 영양사를 초대를 했습니다. 그리고 서두부터 PR을 하는 거 보면 왠지 정말 한국을 의식하고 있는 것 같다는 느낌이 들었습니다. 왜 영양사를 초대했을까요? 이 또한 추측이지만 100% 손흥민 때문에 초대했다고 확신을 하게 됩니다. 영양사를 초대한 컨텐츠가 LAFC 현지 팬들이 얼마나 궁금하겠습니까? 스타들의 일거수일투족을 알고 싶어하는 그 팬들의 마음이 아닌 이상 선수의 식단을 관심 갖진 않죠. 그런데 손흥민은 선수이기도 하지만 대형 스타이기도 하잖아요. 대부분 동료들이 100만 달러 이하의 연봉인데 손흥민만 10배가 넘는 1000만 달러 연봉으로 미국에서 메시 다음으로 많이 받고 있으니까 말 다 했죠. 실제로 영상에서도 손흥민을 거론하면서 손흥민이 어떤 음식을 먹는지를 물어보기도 합니다. 그런데 이 영양사가 뭔가 의도를 잘 파악을 못하는 것 같기도 하고, 그래서 진행자는 직접적으로 묻기도 합니다. 플레이오프 서부 컨퍼런스 4강전 밴쿠버 경기 직전에 무엇을 먹을 건지 얘기해달라고요. 네. 자, 그 영상 함께 보도록 하시죠.
Welcome into Black and Gold Insider. This is the show where we get to know the members of the Black and Gold a little bit better. I am Max Bretos, and as some of you know, some of you may not know, LAFC have an extensive, multi-layer, multifaceted, first-class staff, and that includes the LAFC performance nutritionist, Connor Spencer, who joins us on the show today. Connor, I'm excited about this conversation because as people are going to find out, this is a very important role so that players can have peak performance, peak recovery in a very complex league. So I'm going to start it there so we can kind of get down to brass tacks. An important member of the staff, tell us what you do for the club. What is the performance nutritionist?
Yeah, thanks, Max. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so really my role as the performance nutritionist here is really anything that relates to food for our guys. So what I'm mostly interested in is figuring out making sure our guys are eating the right type of food at the right time and in the right amount, especially during the training week, of course, when we travel, and then very most importantly, in and around match days.
And as I said, it's a complex league, lots of travel. You could be going high altitude, you go be in the heat, you're going to the cold, a league like no other. I'm just curious, this element of the staff, this element of what you can provide for players, I feel like it's pretty new. What was kind of like that breakthrough where teams were saying, all right, we got to make sure, certainly under our watch, that these players are putting in their body the right things because it's going to make a difference on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it from a historical perspective where I think it is relatively new in the, at least in the world of football. In endurance sport, we've really been, nutrition has been a huge component for a long period of time, but really understanding how the game has evolved as well, where there's more high intensity, more sprints. The calendar, as you mentioned, becomes more compact. We have more matches. It's more congested. So nutrition starts to play a larger role into making sure that our guys are prepared to perform at a very high intensity, and then also recover from that high intensity if we're going a Saturday to Wednesday to Saturday again, for example, playing in multiple competitions throughout the season.
I wanted to ask you about the arrival of Son Heung-min, obviously someone who's maintained a high level of performance through his career, playing in the top leagues as he did in the Premier League, playing in multiple World Cups. And I think we can include this with Hugo Lloris, who followed a similar path with his time at Tottenham Hotspur. I imagine they have a pretty clear routine that's worked for them, but how does the club collaborate to keep them, a player like of that level, on the same track?
Yeah, I think you really hit the right word there with collaborate, because nutrition is always going to be a collaboration. So obviously I have my philosophies, my opinions, which are going to be based on the evidence that I've read, and but a player is also going to have their own experience, their past experience with a nutritionist, or things that they have worked for their in their career. So when a guy like Son or Hugo come into the club, it's really, for me, the first question is like, okay, what have you been doing, right? Like, tell me what you've been doing so that I can like jot it down, a little like secret notebook here about like what your strategy has been. And hearing that strategy, it's like, okay, you do this, you do that, you prepare this way. This is what you prefer to eat after a match, and that's what you've been doing your entire career. Yep. Okay, great. We're going to support you and keep doing that. Those two guys in particular, coming from Tottenham, you know, I don't know directly, but I know through other colleagues who those nutritionists are that have worked with them, and I've connected with some of them, and knowing that, oh, look, you've been in great hands already, so let's just continue that. And so making sure that they have the food that they like and they feel supported in whatever sort of fueling product or anything else they need in a game day.
Connor Spencer, our LAFC performance nutritionist. Connor, let's have a little fun here. Let's imagine their next game. Let's say it's in Vancouver. All right. They have a game tomorrow, and we got to prepare something that will prepare them for that challenge in particular. How does the game day or the pre-game day -1 prepare for that? And what would be on that plate for these players, you think, the day before?
Yeah. Day before, we're starting breakfast with either pancakes, French toast, or waffles.
I'm in. I am in. I'm ready to run. I'm ready to go, Connor.
I don't want them to shy away from the syrup or the honey.
Why? Why is that? Is it?
Yeah. So what we're really trying to do is fill the muscle with energy, with carbohydrate. So with stored carbohydrate, and so trying to have foods that are going to be very palatable. I mean, like they want to eat them. Foods that are what we would call them to be rather energy dense, but on the somewhat like lower volume side, meaning they don't have to eat as much, but they're still getting a lot of bang for their buck in terms of carbohydrate. So we'd look at something like French toast, pancakes, or waffles. Okay, who doesn't want to eat those, right? Syrup is incredibly energy dense, and it's a great topping on side of that.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
On having a little bit of juice, another easy to digest form of carbohydrate, helps a little bit with hydration. And then, yeah, a little bit of protein. So maybe like 2 eggs would be appropriate, as opposed to maybe during a training week, we're going to do something that's going to be, 3 eggs and some potatoes and some avocado. So something that's just a little bit, you could call it a little bit heavier, but really it's a little bit higher volume food. So on a match day -1, we want breads, we want jams. Lunch, we want rice or pasta. Again, making sure that we're having some juice. Some bread would be fantastic. Yes, some chicken or some salmon would be great. Throw in a little snack there with like maybe a Rice Krispie treat or a little banana bread. Again, some more juice, some dried fruit would be fantastic. And then dinner time, nice and simple: pasta, rice, chicken. Really making sure, again, high carbohydrate availability, put that energy into the muscle so then they can sprint up and down that field the next day.
I just want to make this clear to the audience. This is the day before. So this is not, we made that distinction. It's not like this every day.
뭐랄까요? 준비를 했는데 진행자처럼 저도 뭔가 좀 특별한 건 못 느꼈습니다. 네. 뭔가 특별한 식단이 있을 줄 알았는데 그냥 뭐 우리 같은 일반인들도 다 먹는 걸 먹고 경기 전에는 칼로리가 매우 높은 걸 먹게 한다는 거군요. 손흥민은 뭐 그냥 개인 영양 관리사가 하라는 대로 하는 게 낫겠던데요. 그래도 다양한 컨텐츠 여러분에게 전해드립니다. 자, 이상 흰수염고래였습니다. 감사합니다.